Welcome to this video, and in this video we shall be working the Pearson Edexcel International GCSE, the Wednesday 5 November 2025, and it is a Mathematics A paper 1F foundation tier. And in this video we shall be looking at, in the first part, the first 10 or 15 questions, and then later in the next video we shall look at the remaining questions. So let's get started. Now, these are the formula sheets, and we come to the very first question here, and the question says write the figure 6,705. So we got 6,705. Now that is the first question. And number 2 says write these numbers in their order of size. We start from the smallest number. Looking at the numbers here, you could see that the smallest number will be 427. So this number has been taken. And the next bigger number will be 498. Also, this number has already been taken too. And then the next number will be 5112, which is 512. And the next one will be 531. And the largest number is 567. Okay, now the numbers can be separated with a comma. So the first question has already been done. So we'll head on to number 2. Still number 1, but question C. Tick the box that describes the value of 7 in this number. Now, the value of 7 definitely is 700ths. The keyword hundreds. Now, I know some, if you're not very careful, you could just think it's 700s. No, it's not 700s. It's 700ths. Okay, so that is the number 7. Okay, all right. Now we go to question D. Write down the multiple of 6 that is between 19 and 29. Now let's look at the multiple of 6. Okay, first of all, because 6 times 1, which is 6, 6 times 2, which is 12, 6 times 3, which is 18, and 6 times 4, which is 24, and 6 times 5, which is 30. Now, of course, we can look at other multiple of 6, but I think I want to start at 30 because we're looking at numbers between 19 but less than 29. Now, if you look at the numbers carefully, you could see something very striking. The numbers between 19 and 29 from this list will be 24. Yeah, I think that's definitely going to be 24. Okay, and yeah, so that means the multiple of 6 between the two numbers 19 and 29 will be 24. And do we have any number again? I don't think so. I think this is the only number, multiple of 6, that is between 19 and 29. Now, write down a prime number that is between 30 and 40. Now, again, for this, I'm going to write out the prime numbers, and then at the end, I will select the number, okay, that is between 30 and 40. Now, these are all the prime numbers that you can possibly think between, that should be less than 40. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, maybe 17, 19, 21, perhaps you could take 23, 26, 27, 28. I think we may take 29, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 37, 38, 39. Okay, all right. So then the prime number that is between 30 and 40, definitely this number between 30 is 31 and 37. These are the only prime number, 31 and 37. Now again, these are only the prime number that are between 30 and 40. Now we head on to the next question, which is number 2. The pictogram shows information about the number of pizzas sold in the shop on each of these 3 days. And we know from the key that every time you have a full circle that's split into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, represent 12 pizzas. So we can begin to list all information that we have right on our screen. Okay, so we know from the first day, which is Sunday, we got I think we got 12. Remember, this is 12, 12, 12. And of course, again, if you want to know what this may represent, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 12 divided by 6 is 2. So each tiny pie represents 2 pizzas. So here you have 2, 2, so you have 4. So a total of, I think you got 36 plus 4. You get a total here of 40 pizzas. And on Monday also, you got another 12, and that makes a total of 24 pizzas. And on Tuesday, again here, you got 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, and of course, you have 6 pizzas here. And of course, if you add it all up, 12 into 5 places, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that will be 60 plus 6, which is 66. Okay, so these are the information that we can gather using the key. Okay, all right, so we'll go to the questions. So how many pizzas were sold on Sunday? So we go and head back to pie chart, not to a pie chart, but pictogram. We see that Sunday, a total of 40 pizzas were sold. Okay, and then the next question says more pizzas were sold on Tuesday than Monday. By how many more? Okay, all right. Monday has 40 pizza. Okay, I think Tuesday and then Monday. Tuesday and Monday. Okay, Tuesday has 66 pizzas and Monday has 24 pizzas. So what we do, we're gonna do 66 take away 24. Okay, again, just to be very sure, correct. So we're gonna subtract this. We have 2 and then you have 4. So by how many more? I think that's gonna be by 42. All right, and now question C. 30 pizzas were sold on Wednesday, and we need to complete the pictogram. Now my pictogram may not be very accurately, but you understand what I mean. Okay, so we go back to our pictogram, and we know we need to make 30 pizzas. Okay, so we're gonna try draw for 30. We know definitely this one here. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this is 12. Okay, another 12, not exactly. Again, I'll have to be very careful with my drawing. Okay, I will have to rub out that. Okay, so I'm going to be a little careful now. That's another 12, and to make it 30, because now we've made 24, I'll make another 6, which looks something like this and like this. Okay, 1 2 3. So this makes the, what is a, completely drawn out. Okay. All right, so we head on to the next question, number 3. The diagram shows part of a number line. Write down the number marked with this arrow. Now you have to study the diagram to tell exactly what that number the arrow is pointing to. Now if you look on the scale, you got on the left side 630 and on the right side 640, and you got this number in between them. Now if you look carefully, if this is 630, this is 632, 634, 636, 638. Now that will be where the arrow is pointing on, will be 638. Okay, all right. So next, we got this question here. On the number line, mark with an arrow the number 6,750. Okay, wow, 5,000 on the left and 7,000 on the right. So 6,750 definitely would be a number between 6,000 and 7,000. Now, if you carefully look at this, this at the middle here, definitely here. This definitely going to be 6,500. Exactly halfway between 6,000 and 7,000. And if that would mean that the numbers are adding in 250. Okay, so that means the number will be just sitting right here. This is a number 6,750. Okay, all right, so we're gonna measure that with a ruler or a pencil. Okay, now I want to measure the length, and the length, definitely you can see that is 12.3. Now of course this value is not the same in your if you have to check the answer in the mark scheme, because right now the diagram is not as it's printed out. Okay, so it could get bigger or lesser. Okay, so I want you to note that this is definitely 12.3. Okay, all right, so you know that's going to be 12.3, and that would be in centimeter. That is the length A to B. And of course for B, we want to draw the angle 68 on X. All right, so the first thing I do, I need to bring all my tools ready. And of course I'm going to get this tool, and of course make it a lot bigger so I can be able to see that. I'm going to place the center mark here on the point X, but I have to draw a line so that I can easily notice where I need to draw my line. So I'll place it right there. Okay, make sure I place it accurately and measure 68 degrees, and 68 degrees will be somewhere here. Okay, so I take my device out. So this angle here that I have just drawn out is the angle 68 degrees. Okay, all right. Now we are in question 4. Simplify this algebra y into 5 places adding up. Now if you add up all the y's, you can see they have 5 y's and they're adding up, and definitely that will make 4 5 y. Kind of very easy, right? And next, you got C multiply itself 4 times C times C times C times C. Definitely, that will be C to the power of 4. And next, you got the C part of a linear equation, and we need to solve 4x equals 48. Now, what you simply just do here, you divide 4 on both sides. Okay, so you got 4x equals 48. You divide both sides by 4, and also here by 4. And of course, you know that the 4 cancel out the 4, leaving out x as the left side. And of course, 48 divided by 4 will be 12. So x will be 12. And now we go to question D. And we got this, again, linear equation. And we want to work out what the value for w will be. Now, if you have to write out the question again, which is 8 minus w equals 13, I'm going to add w on both sides. Okay, w, and also add w, and that will simplify my answer as 18 equals 13 plus w, and eventually I'm going to subtract 13 on both sides again, just to make w stay on the right side. So I'm going to subtract 13 on both sides, and that will reduce 18 minus 13 is 5, and 13 subtract 13 is 0, and we just have w. So that will mean that w will have to be 5. Now, number 5, we need to shade 1/6 of this shape. Now, the first thing that I think we needed to find out is we need to work out, or kind of count, how many squares we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, so if you have 18, okay, so you do 1/6 of 18. That will mean that you will have to shade in on 3 parts, because 1/6 of 18 is 3. So the first thing you have to do, okay, get all your matches ready. So we're gonna shade in one part here. Yeah, just shade only 3 parts, and try make it as neat as you can, as possible as you can make it. And this is the 1/6 of the whole shape. Again, this is 1, and of course there are 6 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, all right. Now if you look at the question B, it says write this fraction as a fraction in its simplest form. Now, one thing you could possibly do is you cannot use the smallest number that can divide into 45 and 75, or you could do the bigger number that can divide into 45 and 75. Okay, all right, I think I'll take the smallest number that can divide into 45 and 75. All right, good. So I know that 5 can go in 45 9 times, and 5 can go in 75. I think it'll go 1. I think it'll go 15 times, right? Yeah. And again, if you look at 9 over 15, something can say cancel. 3 can divide into 9 3 times, and 3 into 15 5 times. Okay, so now I think the simplest fraction will be 3 over 5. And now we head on to the next question, C. And it says, write this fraction 2/5 as a decimal. Well, I do know, first of all, that 1/5 as a decimal is definitely going to be 0.2. Okay, so 2/5 will have to be 0.2 times 2, which is 0.4. Again, here will be 0.4, right? Otherwise, you could just go through the normal um, decimal, long division, and of course you still get the same result as 0.4. Okay, and now we come to the next question here. There are 80 children in the playground, and we know that 1/5 of the kids are wearing white t-shirts, and calculate the number of these children not wearing. Now, there are kind of a number of ways you may want to do this, but one way that you can do, because you know that 1/5 are wearing, right? So that would suggest that 4/5 aren't wearing, right? So now you're going to take that 4/5 and multiply by 80. All right. And of course, you could say 4 times 80, which would be 320. And of course, divided by the 5. And if you try to cancel this down, again, I'll have to show my working. 320 divided by 5. 5 into 3, well, it doesn't really go. Okay, so I'm going to put 1 in front of it, or I'll put a 0 first, and move the 3 here. That's 32. And 5 in 32, I think that we go about 6 times here. And with a remainder of 2, so that's 20, and 5 in 20 will be 4. So that suggests that the result here will be 64. So the number of kids not wearing is 64. All right, so we go to the next question. Number 6. We know that Polo has some flour in each of these 3 containers, and these are the container and their various weights, some in grams, some in kilogram. And the total weight of Polo's flour is less than 3 kilograms. So the question is, how much less? And they want us to give it in grams. Our answer in grams. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to write the weight in grams. Already we know that this is in grams, but the flour in B is 1 kilogram, and 1 kilogram is the same as 1,000 grams. Okay. So I'm going to add up all the weights from A to C. Now we got 500 grams plus 1,000 grams plus 700 grams. And of course, the total, of course, this is the total, okay? And definitely this will give you 2200, okay? This is the total grams in ABC, all right? Okay. And now we're going to subtract it from 3 kilograms. Remember, this is in grams. So we know that 3 kilograms is the same as 3,000 grams, okay? And so we're going to do how much less? Definitely will be 3,000. And of course, divided by or subtracted from 2200. And of course, you know that that will be 800 grams. So how much less? 800. Okay, grams. All right, so you got the grams here. Okay, all right. We head on to the next question, and we got this timeline. Betty got on the plane at 9:10. The times here I can see are in 24-hour clock, so just be very noteworthy of those timings. Now, she got off the plane at 13:45 the same day. For how long was Betty on the plane? And give your answer in hours and minutes. Now, I'm going to use a timeline, okay? Because the timeline is going to give me a good idea what to expect. So this is where Betty was here, and she got the plane at that time at 9:10, okay? 9:10. And of course, I'm going to take this to the nearest hour, okay? And of course, that will be about maybe from B, and that will be about, I guess that will be about 10, okay? All right, good. And okay, I should say, yeah, good. Now, that is how many minutes? You could say that could be 50 minutes, right? And from 10 to 13, let's call this one C, okay? You could want to call this one C. From 10 to 13, 10, 11, 12, 13, that's about 3 hours. And of course, you look at point D, and from 13 to 13:45, that's about 45 minutes. So now I got the minutes and hours combined, and I'm gonna combine them all to get my results. I definitely will be adding up 15 minutes plus 3 hours plus 45 minutes. Okay, all right, so if I add 50 and 45, that will be 95 minutes. Okay, that's 95 minutes, and 95 minutes can be written as 1 hour, yeah, 60 plus 35, 1 hour 35 minutes here. And okay, 1 hour 35 minutes. Now that will break this going to be another 1 hour. That this 1 hour here, you add it to 3. Okay, that's definitely going to be 4 hours. Okay, 4 hours and 35 minutes. Right, you can see that 35 minutes. Okay, so total will be 4 hours 35 minutes. So that's it, and we got all the questions here, which seems like well, is a two-way table. Okay, let's see. We're gonna get it done right. So we know Kai sells drinks of coffee, tea, and hot chocolates. Okay, and we know Monday she sold a total of 140 drinks. That's it here, and 58 are of the drinks are coffee, and 36 were tea, and the rest are hot chocolates. Okay, so we're gonna complete this later. And on Tuesday, she sold a total of 160. That's total. And 70 of these drinks are tea. 70 are tea. And 50 of the drinks were hot chocolates. Well, that's 50 here. Were hot chocolates. And the remaining are coffee. So now we're going to use the information to complete the two-way table. Okay? So we've got these two-way tables. Wow. So I think we can look at the ones that we can easily get. Which for the total here will be total of 300, and definitely here is 106, which is again the total and the total. And 50 plus 70 is 120, and 120 plus 40 will make 160. And now I can add up the number here, which is 98. And again, we got these two numbers here, and 58 plus 36 will be 94. So what do you add to 94 to make 140? Well, probably you may have 6, and probably may have, oh, yeah, I guess, I think, 0, no, I think it may be 46. Yeah, it has to be 46. Yeah, because we add all the, okay, so that's correct. And eventually you add up the two numbers here, you get 96. Okay, so this is the completed two-way table. Now we got this question number 9, and we know that ABC is a straight line, and we know that the triangle is an isosceles, and again we know that DB, well, is the same as DC. Okay, with these two lines indicating that the triangle is an isosceles triangle. So we need to work out the angle X. Well, the angle X, definitely you'll have to do, to get angle X, you do 180 and take away 145. Okay, and that's 35. So the angle here definitely is 35. Of course, you know the reason is because this is the angle on a straight line. Okay, and the angle Y, again, because this is isosceles, you definitely know that here will also be 35. And now to get Y, you add up the two angles first, and of course if you do 35 plus 35, if you add it up, you get 70 degrees. And now you do 180 minus 70. Okay, that's definitely going to give you 110 degrees. So the angle Y definitely will be 110. Okay, right. So again, we come to question 10. The diagram shows a cuboid, and the measurements are all given right on the screen. And we know the volume of the cuboid here is 324 cubic centimeter, and we want to work out the value of W. Now, a very simple way to look at this is that you know the volume of a cuboid is the length times the width times the height, and we know the volume here, which is 324, and the length is already given as 12, and the width is 7.5, and the height, well, you don't know what it is, so just replace it with W. So again, you will have to, yeah, if you multiply this 12 by 7.5, you will get 90 times W. And to get W, you divide both sides by 90. Okay, here. So W will be 324 divided by 90. 324 divide 90. You will get 3.6 centimeter. Okay, so W, the height, is 3.6. Well, the unit is definitely going to be centimeter. Okay, just for you to note. Okay, 3.6. Now that was question 10. Okay, and now we come to number 11. 11 says we need to simplify this. Okay, so again, I need to show my working. So this is 7 times 4 and C times D, and of course 7 times 4 is 28, and C times D was CD. So the result here is 28 CD. And the next question says simplify this. Again, I'm going to show my working, and this is going to be 8W minus 3W, and here you got 4W or 4Y minus 6Y. Now if you do 8W minus 3W, that's 5W, and 4Y minus 6Y will be minus 2Y. Now again, here you cannot simplify any further, so you put your answer here as 5W minus 2Y. And this question says the n term of a sequence is given by 5n, what is the fourth term of the sequence? Now, of course, you know that the n term, already you know that, is already given by 5n. So that means that will mean that the fourth term will definitely be 5 times n, which is 4, and that would be 20. So the fourth term of the sequence having an n term 5n is 20. Okay? And now, I think this question says, here is a list of numbers. Okay, we got the list on the screen. And we know that x is a number in the list that is less than 6. Or should I say x is greater than 6? What are the possible numbers? Well, from this list, numbers greater than 6 definitely is 8 and 10. Okay? Alright, because these numbers are greater than 6. And now we go to the next question. Number 12. Shen buys a car for a cost of £21,000. Okay? And she pays a deposit. Now, this is the deposit that she paid. 28% of the total cost, which is £21,000. Now, I'm going to use a calculator to work that out. So, 28%. Okay, and times it by 21,000. Now that suggests that that will be 5880. Okay, 5880. Okay. Now this is a deposit that she paid. Okay, and of course that means she will have a leftover of 21,000. Subtract 5880. Of course, this definitely gonna give you 2, 1, 5, and 1. I guess so. Let me be sure. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. This is the leftover. Okay. Okay. I think I wrote that in pounds, in dollars. I have to write it in pounds. Okay. Okay, I need to write that in pounds. Okay. Okay. Good. She got, this is what she needed to complete 15,120. But we know that she pays the rest in 24 equal monthly payments. So that will mean the amount that she needs to pay every month, monthly payments, should eventually be this number, and divided by 24. So I got this number here, which is 15,120, and divided by 24. That would mean that they will have to pay the monthly every month, £630 every month. Okay, so that is the amount to be paid every month. Okay, 630. Now we come to the set question. They're very common, so I want us to be really careful with this kind of questions. So we know the universal set here has numbers from 10, 11, 12, and blah, 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 and it gets to 20. And the odd numbers, okay, which are subset of the model set here, and odd numbers definitely will be 1. Odd number will be 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19. Now these are the odd numbers for set A. And for set B, multiples of 5, that's 5, 10, 15, and 20. So we need to first of all get the intersection for A and B. And we know the intersection for A and B, we definitely first of all will be 5 and 5. And I guess, is there any other number? Yeah, we got 15 and 15. Okay. Any other number? I don't think so. So that would mean the intersection here for A and B is 5 and 15. And then the other numbers left out for set A are definitely going to be 1. I'll use a different number and a different color pen. 1, 3, 7, 9, 11, 13, 17, and 19. Okay. And for sets, I should say for set B, which would be definitely 10 and 20. All right. Okay. So there could be some number outside set A and set B. Okay. And those numbers, definitely, if you remove this number, which definitely going to be 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, and of course you remove 10, yeah, 15, you've taken that, and 20. These numbers untouched are the numbers outside the set. So that will mean the numbers outside the set will be 12, 14, 16, and 18. Now that is a set already done for you. All right, so again, we got this question from number 14. I guess this is going to be our last video, our last point for today. You got I guess you have this question, and we need to describe the single transformation that maps A to B. Okay, now there are 4 kinds of transformation that you could possibly have. It could be the reflection, it could be I don't know what it is, but definitely there are 4 of them. But this is an enlargement because there are about 4 of them. But clearly this is an enlargement. All right, so we know that first that this is an enlargement. Now, to clearly define this enlargement, what will be the scale factor? Now you can see B is an enlargement of A, and of course, to be able to do this carefully, you can see here has just let's say 1, okay, and here has 1, 2, 3. So this simply means that this goes up by a scale factor of 3. Okay, so this is an enlargement with a scale factor of times 3. All right, so this really describes this enlargement. Okay, so that's it. So again, I want to say thank you so much, and of course hope to see you in the next video. Okay, thank you.